It's that time again. It's a time for video game pickups, and I figured December would be a good month to talk about it because it is time to buy your favorite gamers some video games. And so whether you want to add these to your collection or whether you want to chime in on what you thought of the game if you played it, these are some of my pickups that I got recently. Very first up on my list, and I've already played completely through it, is Life is Strange True Colors. This is one I've been kind of sitting on. It's one I wanted to play. It's definitely an emotional roller coaster. You play as Alex Chen, and you have the ability to basically like sense or see people's feelings, and you use it to your advantage to basically spin scenarios into your like own advantage, I guess. And so kind of like being a therapist, but kind of not. This game was a little bit more emotional for me than the first Life is Strange, although the very first Life is Strange is still my favorite by far. But this one was really pretty, like graphically pretty. It had a free PS5 upgrade, which I didn't play, but I definitely recommend if you can. But the story was very captivating. I was very invested, and honestly, it caught me off guard a few times, which I feel like the Life is Strange games aren't always the best at. And as somebody who's played quite a few of them, I do think it's worth the playthrough. I don't think it's worth the full price tag if it's still being sold for like $60. I think I got my copy for $26. That's fine. I would say About There is a good one. But if you've played this one, let me know what you thought. It's really cool. Like the LARPing section, I love when video games do stuff like that.
There's something you should know about me.
I almost forgot to mention, in Life is Strange True Colors, just like a lot of the other Life is Strange games, it's got a pretty decent soundtrack. If you like indie stuff, like it's got some pretty good songs. Next on my list, and I'm going to admit I've owned the accessory to this much longer than I have actually had the game. And that's because somebody gifted it to me. But Donkey Konga on the GameCube. What a unique title. Like, I know Nintendo's known for their, like, weird decisions. But with Donkey Konga, you are using a peripheral that is a Congo drum. And it's a rhythm game. So you basically gotta beat to the music. And the songs on there are not just strictly like Donkey Kong related. There was a little bit of Legend of Zelda, Pokemon. I think there was other releases where they even released like more like kind of like pop rock songs. I don't recall. I definitely want to get the other Donkey Konga games, but I played around with it a little bit. I'm not getting the rhythm quite yet. I do enjoy rhythm games a lot. But I'm very glad to finally be able to add it to my collection and play it a little bit, because again, I do like rhythm games. It's not something I want to play to completion, but I'm really glad to have it. Next up on my list, and this is a game I never owned when I was younger, and it was a game I was always interested in, but Zelda 4 Swords. Now, I know this is more of like a co-op game. I do have some of the peripherals to be able to connect it to a Game Boy Advance or a Game Boy SP, and I do own the Super Nintendo cartridge, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. But it is a co-op Zelda game released for the GameCube, and I got my copy for $60, which I feel like it really wasn't that bad of a price. Wasn't a steal. I think it was a pretty decent price. But you play as 4 different Links, and it looks like on the back it says that you can play as one player, but I really think it was meant to be more of a cooperative experience. So I guess let me know in the comments down below if you guys have played this one, and if you have, let me know if it's totally worth it, and do you think the $60 was a good price? I recently beat Detroit Becoming Human, so I'm like really in the like decision-based games. Same people who made Heavy Rain made Beyond Two Souls, where it's got Ellen Page and William Dafoe, which is awesome. I really like William Dafoe, especially in Boondock Saints, and I think you know what scene I'm talking about. But I really enjoy decision-based games, the heavy storytelling. It's a nice break from the other games that you play, like the platforming, the RPGs, and things like that. And so I had a lot of fun with Detroit Becoming Human, and Become Human. I am sorry, I messed that up in my last video, and Jen definitely helped me realize that. Detroit Become Human. Oh my god. Anyway, decision-based games, love them. I can't wait to dive into this. I'm gonna save it because I feel like I've been playing a lot more story-driven games that are not so much like actual games. But let me know if you played this one in the comments down below. I don't know how I've like missed this one, but I'm happy to pick it up. I got it for $6. Feel like that was a good deal. Next on my list, and this one was one I had in childhood. I played it a little bit and I really did enjoy it. I like fishing in games. I like fishing mini games. I don't know what it is. If it has fishing in the game, I think it's a good game. Sue me. I don't know. But River King, A Wonderful Journey. It's like Harvest Moon in a fishing game, like, had a baby. And I didn't get to explore it as much as I wanted to as a kid. And so when I saw this in the store, it was $29, which, that was a little more than I wanted to pay, but I never see this game. And it's a fishing game. I can't imagine it's overly challenging. In the game, you know, from father, son to daughter, apparently your entire lineage is just people who fish. And that's cool and relaxing, and I definitely am excited to dink around with this game. Have you guys ever heard of this game? Have you ever played it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Was $29 too much? Let me know. Next on my list, and I felt like I got an okay deal, it was $14.99, Minecraft Dungeons Hero Edition for the Nintendo Switch. It's definitely something I want to play more co-op, but it looks more like Minecraft and Diablo kind of had a baby, but less complicated. So what I mean by that is it doesn't seem like a very deep story or deep gameplay, but I like Minecraft and I appreciate Diablo, and I've played Minecraft Dungeons in the arcade off and on, and I always enjoy my time with it, especially because it spits out those little cards. So I figured it would be a fun co-op game to play with a couple of people, something a little bit more mindless, not so serious, a little childish, I know, but what about this doesn't scream childish to you guys? So no apologies from me. I like Minecraft, and I think it will be a fun experience even if it's not that deep. Very last on my list, and this was almost a case of FOMO. So I went to Seattle and I went to Pink Gorilla because you gotta stop there if you're in Seattle, right? So I went to a location I had not been to before. I will admit it was a bit smaller than I was hoping for. And after Black Friday, I think they were a little sparse. That's okay. That's what happens when you go a little bit later. But I picked up Firewall 0 Hour for the PlayStation 4 VR. And although I'm not the biggest VR person, I really wanted to try this one. It's got the really cool peripheral gun, it's got the game, and I almost never see it in a box complete. Ever. I've seen the game and I once saw the gun. I don't know what it is about this game, but I never see it in the box. They wanted $50. I would rather have paid $40. But after walking away and looking it up, I realized that $50 really wasn't that bad of a deal, especially complete in box. So I went ahead and hopped out, went back and got it, paid a little bit of tax because it was in Washington, and now it's in my collection, and I'm really excited. I believe this is more like a first-person shooter cooperative military game. I don't know a lot about it, but I think that's really cool to have a VR game where you're actually moving through. I'm not the biggest Call of Duty person, but this seems a lot different, a little bit more interactive, which is why I'm so excited to have it in my collection. I love the PlayStation VR. I know it's weird. I know it didn't do that great, but I love the games on it. Moss, Borderlands 2 makes me a little sick. Beat Saber, my all-time favorite. But I would say don't sleep on the PlayStation VR on the PlayStation 4. The PS5 one is starting to get a little bit cheaper. I'm not quite ready to jump on that yet, but I would say look at some of the games. They're not that bad. So those are some of the pickups I got recently. Let me know if you played any of them, if you liked any of them, if you thought I got a good deal, a bad deal. What do you guys think? What is on your Christmas wish list? That's something I want to talk about a little bit later in one of my episodes this month of what is on my wish list. Now, obviously, I don't expect anyone to get me any of the games, but I think it's really fun to talk about games that we're really looking for or hunting for, and letting each other know what games we're interested in, because sometimes there are games that we just have never heard of, and maybe it's your next hidden gem. You never know. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so glad that you guys are here watching my channel. And don't forget, a pixelated world awaits.
Samantha's hero, queen of the game zone. Her realm, her throne, every console known. Pixelated princess, conquering unknown. In this digital age, her talents are shown. From Minecraft games to Halo's guys, watch her conquer, no surprise. Game with grand dynamic rise, skill unlocked, no disguise. Guys. Joystick Jedi with moves unreal.